gentlemen, welcome to another episode of MA Power Talk. This one's going to be focused a little more on what we consider as sport karate illustrated because, as a little kid, reading Karate Illustrated was the most exciting thing for me. I used to literally walk for miles just to get a copy of an issue every month and read about all types of people, and I inspired to become these people. And, for the first time in a long time, you guys are going to hear from someone who has inspired a lot of people, such as myself. I mean, this guy had kicked straight up like a forms competitor. He was competing with people as a teenager. He not only did the point fighting, he did the full contact / kickboxing. He's been around since the beginning of what we consider the golden era of sport karate, when they were able to, when people were doing blitzes and dive bombs, this guy started doing cartwheels and rolling out the way, invented his own new curriculum, so exciting. I only got a chance to see him one time in person do point karate, of all places, Harlem, New York, but I also did see him in Madison Square Garden, doing some kickboxing. Not his best day, but didn't matter because I was just so happy to see him. His name is Raymond, nickname used to be The Kid McCallum from Texas. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go back to the beginning of time. What was your inspiration to even start in the martial arts?
Well, let's see. My mom wouldn't let me play nothing else. And when I got into karate, she hated it worse than she hated anything else. But my dad died when I was 10, and I played baseball when I was a kid, but from 10 to 14, I was pretty much locked into not getting to play nothing. And I just happened to walk into karate school one day, and I knew from that day on that was what I was going to be doing.
So are you telling me that Raymond McCallum was the mama's boy and mama didn't let him do anything else? Is that what you're telling me?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. My mama's the baddest person I know.
Ooh, I hear you.
I got my brothers Tim Kirby and Steve Sosa here with me.
Wow.
and they don't mess with my mama.
Wow.
Nobody messes with my mama because she, I tell you, she probably knocked me out more times than Greek did.
Wow. Well, let me tell you something, just so you know that this is consistent. My grandmother was the one in my family who was the knockout king. She was a phenomenal boxer, a great wrestler, even better with a knife, pretty decent with a gun, too. She used to run social clubs in Spanish Harlem back in the late 50s and early 60s. And so I completely understand that, we were, tough women had a, I mean, if she had to be your mother and your father at the same time, she had to be tough.
Right.
So props to the mothers over there. So you say you have Tim Kirby. Tim Kirby's with you, and who else is with you?
Steve Sosa.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Steve Sosa or not. He's probably definitely one of our top black belts in our lineage, but probably one of the top heavyweights, and they come out of Texas for quite a while.
Wow, well, you know what? If there's any way possible for you to put me in contact with some of these guys, I mean, I know you come from an incredible group of martial artists. When you did join that school finally as a teenager, I guess that's when they called you the Kid. So you must have walked into, rest in peace, Mr. Demetrius the Greek Havanas.
I started when I was 14. They met Greek when I was like in karate 7 or 8 months, and was junior green belt. I was 14, made black belt when I was 16. And I've already been fighting men's division for a year at that time. But the way I really developed a lot of my stuff was just a technique I called advanced daydreaming. And what that was all about was Greek could kick my ass, so all I could do was just sit there and think about how I was going to kick his ass. And so I would do this visualization and imagery of me kicking his ass every day as much as I could, any way I could, shooting him, anything I could do to get back at him. I pictured it, and I pictured it with such intensity that I'd be sitting there jerking and kicking and twitching and stuff, and it'd be at school or something, and people would be looking at me like, man, who's this spastic, and
right. I'm sure when you were sleeping, you was jumping in bed too, right? As you were sleeping, you would jump and twitch and throw elbows and knees.
Yeah, well, I really felt that I wanted to get back at him, but that's the only way I knew how, so I had to let it ride. Next time I saw him, whether it was the next 5 minutes or the next day, he kicked my ass again. Every time I knew him. First day I met him, I went to the state fair to do demonstrations at State Fair of Texas for the Rick was out there doing demonstrations for Texas Karate Institute, and they told me I'd go out there and help do demonstrations. I'd get in the fair free. So shoot, I went out there and I was just a long-haired, snaggle-toothed kid, and he just pretty much ignored me completely, and I told him, come out here and help you and do demonstrations. He got up and walked off and told somebody else to go over and tell us we could get dressed behind the curtain, So then we get on the stage, and first thing he did was introduce himself, and without even looking back, he just reached back there and grabbed me by the throat and picked me up off the ground. Greg being 5'5" and 190 at the time, pretty solid muscle, overhanging chest, arms and thighs as big as my waist, and so he just picked me up by my throat off the floor and was telling the crowd he could break my neck with a twist of the wrist, I thought he'd done it, So then he decided to kick me off to the stage and into the next booth there, So after he did that 2 or 3 times, he was getting kind of irritated because it took me so long to get back over on the stage where he was at, And so then it just started grabbing me by the hair, and then just got a big handful of hair. And just that way, I just hinged out away from him, but I didn't have to wait for him to get back to kick my ass some more, So that's how I met Greek.
You must have really loved that guy, huh?
Well, I don't know about love, but it wasn't bad. I was there every day for 2 weeks, pretty much, and by the end of the deal, he was going like, "Hey kid, what are you doing here? I thought I killed you yesterday. What are you? Why do you keep coming back? And I was just going, I don't know. I don't know. Just sure beats going to school."
Oh my God! Who else was training with you in that school during those days?
Well, let's see. I trained with Robert Harris, who ended up being Roy Kervin's business partner later on. But my initial instructors were really like Jack White, James Toney, Max Alsop, Kirby Fugate, Lonnie Lindley, James Toney. Skipper Mullins was in our school. I started in the oldest original karate school in Texas, which to Garland Road. It was the Garland Road Texas Karate Institute from Alan Steen era. When I started, it had House of Wren, because Fred Wren was the person who opened that school in '67. And it's still the original karate school. Wren had it from '67 to about '70, and then he went to St. Louis, and Ronnie and Dennis Cox took over, and Ronnie Cox was my first instructor. And we had a different instructor every night. Actually, after I'd been in karate about 6 months, then it kind of the deal changed. We had a different instructor every night. And all those guys I just talked about, or just mentioned, were my instructors. From then on, they taught each one of them taught a different night, and so then Greek was just kind of a rolling. He traveled from school to school to school, and he'd hang out in a school for a week or so, and it didn't take much longer than a week, and everybody else just quit coming, because he was just he was just looking for fresh meat, you know, and so he'd hang out in the school for a week or so, and then run everybody off, and then he'd just go to the, you know, there were 5 schools in Dallas at the time, so then there was Arlington and Lubbock as well, but